Hey everyone, Rogue Leader here, back with another video, and today we are going to be taking a look at a Lego DC set from almost a decade ago now, and that being Darkseid's Invasion, released in January of 2025, or January of 2015, excuse me, also known as the Justice League Javelin, because that of course is the main build, and retailed for just $70. Now it's going to be worth more like $125 to $140. Came with 5 minifigures, and if you include the big fig, and 2 builds, and it's also 545 pieces. Oh, and the set number is 76028. So yeah, let's start with the minifigures and take a look at all these cool minifigures, because every single one of them is great. Our first and honestly least interesting minifigure is going to be Superman. This is the exact same one we got since, I believe, 2012 when he first came out, Lex Luthor mech, and we've been getting him for many years in various comic book sets. So, you know, pretty common, but still a great minifigure to have. You can see he's rocking the red underwear on the outside of the suit, the yellow belt, as well as the nice classic comic book symbol. And he's got that nice, you know, 2013, 2014 kind of simplistic design for, you know, his torso with the abs coming through in the darker blue. And then he also does have a spongy cape, which I believe were a little bit newer at the time. And then the Superman curly, or the hair with the curl coming down. And then of course he does have his classic face, with one side being kind of more angry and another side being a little more happy. This figure did not include the laser eyes that we've, you know, been a bit more accustomed to. But yeah, and then here's a look at the backside. You know, just really basic, you know, 2015, what you'd expect. And here is Hawkman. Very cool minifigure. This is honestly a minifigure that I don't know if we'll ever get again, because it's just such an obscure Justice Leaguer compared to other characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. Such an obscure character. I mean, it's still relatively popular, but just compared to other characters we get, like, we haven't even gotten Flash or Green Lantern in many years, so I don't see us getting this anytime soon. But taking a look at the actual minifigure, you can see he's got some green shorts with gold boots. Unfortunately, no dual molding. That would have been nice, but I don't really think they were up to that point of giving a lot of characters dual molding yet. So that's okay. You can see you got his belt, and then it also continues the like point at the bottom of the belt in the middle down onto his leg. So I always like that continuous printing. And then of course he's got the Hawkman symbol right there with the straps that are holding his wings. And speaking of the wings are a nice little like thin plastic that we see on many wings from like the Parademons and other characters, like the Wasp from Avengers Tower, I believe. So yeah, and then one cool thing is, as you can see, the wings, which I must say I love, and they look very detailed and accurate. But one thing about the wings is right now they're in kind of a more like stored position where they're not really being used. But on the back, you can take these golden clips and you can actually take it off, and it includes one that's a bit wider, a wing for him, and you can just clip this one on. And now he's got more of a flying wings, so that would be nice if you want for kids to play. But he also comes with a mace, very cool. And then taking a look at his head printing, you can see it's just, he's got a nice little like stubble, and then, you know, kind of an angry-ish face, a bit more stern, and then the back like a super angry face. His face honestly reminds me of the face they originally used for both the Winter Soldier and Star-Lord, but just obviously with the chin strap that, you know, when you put on the helmet, looks pretty good. So yeah, all that aside, very cool minifigure, and you know, again, minifigure we may not get anytime soon, if ever again. So yeah, very nice. And here's another minifigure it could be a while till we get, that being Green Arrow. I do believe we actually got a Green Arrow before this in the Comic-Con exclusive. I could be wrong about that, but I just don't remember at this point. But I really love this minifigure. He's got a very nice torso with the nice like Green Arrow belt, and then nice straps and just detail in general, and then a green bow, which looks really good. And you can see he's got the shirt, or not shirtless, but sleeveless like jacket type thing. And then he does have a hood, which was relatively new at the time, I believe. So that was cool, in dark green. And then you have this really nice bright yellow hair, which honestly, it It's not my favorite color to use on hair because it's like not at all accurate to like what real people's hair would look like. But on the other hand, it definitely screams like comic book, and it's definitely the yellow that Green Arrow's hair has in comics. And then looking at his face, again, like Hawkman before him, got a bit of a stern face with a nice little mask and a more angry face. And one thing I really like is in both the face prints, the white of the goggles is actually more of a light green instead of a white, so that's really cool. But yeah, besides that, pretty cool minifigure. And here is Cyborg, and I believe he was our first Cyborg minifigure. I'm pretty sure all the other ones came out after this. But yeah, he's got a stud shooter, which I believe was relatively new at the time, in light gray. And then he's got the Cyborg helmet piece that has been used on, I think, pretty much every single Cyborg since. And then, oh, drop that. But then he's got this nice stern face, which is not exclusive to him, but is cool. He's got a bit of an angry expression and a more happy expression, which definitely plays into the fact that he's more of a Teen Titan with that like kind of juvenile smile. And then you can see he's got some nice printing, and again, love the continuous print from the torso down to the hips and then eventually onto the legs. And he does have foot printing, which, you know, was not super common back in 2015. But yeah, that's Cyborg now, and here's the back, you know, pretty cool. Definitely with like the red symbol in the middle, red like circle in the middle. It kind of reminds me of just like a black and silver Iron Man suit, but yeah, pretty cool. And of course, if you didn't know how stud shooters work, you press on the dark gray on top and the stud goes flying out, aka the stud shooter. And our last minifigure, which is, I guess, technically a big fig, would be Darkseid, and I love this. Darkseid's, pretty much the biggest Justice League villain. He's like the Justice League's version of Thanos, essentially, and they did him very well. I love the blue and the black with the gold accents and the red, like Omega symbol on his belt, as well as the red circle. And then you also see you got some like black cracks throughout the armor. And then you also have a very nice and detailed face. So just all around very pleased with this minifigure. And I love the blue like shoulder padding they added onto the arms. They definitely did not have to do that, but I'm glad they did go the extra mile. But very cool. And then obviously you got posability in the arms and in the wrists, but besides that, the legs and the head are stationary, as this was well before they introduced posable heads. So yeah, that's Darkseid, which is honestly one of my favorite big figs just in general. All right, our first build is this kind of like Omega Darkseid Apocalypse type hover tank thing. I don't really know what to call it. I would be shocked if it's from comics. I have not read a lot of DC comics. If it's based on something, please let me know, but I'm pretty sure this was just, hey, we need something for Darkseid to use. Let's give him this little speeder. Because, like, obviously the javelin's a real thing in the comics and the movies and whatever. But this I've never seen before. But it is pretty cool. So you got a nice Omega symbol right here. And then, of course, you got the 3 hover pads. And then you got this cannon, which you can pose up and down. And it shoots one of these, like, big balls. So you just squeeze in the middle, and it goes flying out. And all the way back there. But, yep. And then you can actually pose Darkseid right here. They have a nice little studs for him to sit on. And then you can actually, if you take his arms, you can kind of pose him sideways. And these are like, I guess, like control panels or something, like, I guess almost like joysticks. I don't know what you'd call them, but you can kind of level them there. And yeah, that's pretty good. And then you can like press on the back over here, just in between, and this whole thing kind of moves, so you can actually like say, like, Superman came in and punched, you can just go flying backwards, and that's a pretty cool play feature. And yeah, but that's pretty much it for this build. Let's look at the actual cool build, the Javelin. The Javelin is far and away the best build in this set. Really stand out, and really impressed for like what they were doing in 2015, because some of the angles on this is just beautiful. So let's start at the front. You got a nice little point using a hinge piece. These all come together at a point, and then it's all covered up with a shield piece with the Justice League logo on it. And you can kind of see how they managed to get that where it was. A lot of different like hinges and joints. But yeah, and then you got some stickers lining each side all the way up. And then you have your cockpit and kind of passenger area. You can open it up in here to get access. So you got 3 different stickers, one on each side and then one in the middle. And of course you can take a character like Cyborg and seat him in the middle, or in the seat, just like so. And then you have another red seat behind him. So yeah, and you can close it all up with him in it, and that's just really great. And then on the wings, you got more stickers, kind of has like a kind of a almost mechanical wing design, if you kind of see that on the stickers. So that's kind of cool. And then I really love the red accents they've given the, I guess these are the fins. I don't know. I'm not sure, but yeah. And then you've got some thrust back here, and then down here is actually the lever you pull forward to, or pull backwards to move the fins into, I guess, flying and attack position rather than the landed position, which is up. So pretty cool. And I mean, if you didn't want to use that, you can always just use your hands. It's pretty simple and you're not really going to damage it. And we'll actually go like that. And then up over here to access the rest of the interior, these actually just open up. So that's really cool. And you got a third red seat. So you got the cockpit and then the 2 more. And then back here, you have another little red seat, but it's not really a seat, because what is actually included is this kind of jump stand. Now, these were included in almost every Marvel and DC set in like 2015 and 2016. And basically what you do is you take a minifigure and you stand them on there. Now, these things are actually very notorious for being built bad. So they'd actually like crack your minifigure's legs. Like if I actually try and lift this up, you can see there's actually like some stress marks on his heels right there just from that. And this is a brand new minifigure. So yeah, definitely something to be careful about, but that's why I don't like these, is because they just will damage your minifigures if you use them too much. But what you do is you kind of put your finger on this semicircle right here, and you just push down, and your hero would go flying. Kind of like that. He just flew off my table. But yeah, that was the whole deal. And what they actually do is you have to like get it in the right position. And then I believe, yeah, so you just stick him, Superman, in with the jump pad, and you can kind of angle him forward. And then this real red knob you can just press on, and he kind of goes flying. And, you know, like a lot of play features that include like making a character go flying, it doesn't really work that well. But there it works pretty well. But I'd say he only makes it actually out of the ship a few times, about half. But yeah, like I'm actually having trouble pulling this minifigure off. And yeah, I can like see stress marks starting. So yeah, but that's pretty interesting. Just to like, you know, it was a cool idea of a play feature to have like these jump pad things that you could attach to minifigures. But ultimately just did not work out, and that's why you don't see them anymore. Looking underneath, you have a bunch of like orange, I guess like propulsion things. And then you have this X-Wing cockpit in gray that's actually upside down. And then if you open it up, you have 2 little bombs that you can, I just kind of attached them right there, but you can actually just leave them loose, and then they can like do a little like bombing run, if you see, like that. So that's pretty cool. And then you also have some flick fire missiles, but you actually don't press the flick fire missiles. You press this Technic pin behind them, and then they shoot it. And in my personal opinion, flick fire missiles never work that well, but it's always more fun to push something that pushes the missile instead of directly pushing it. So, you know, yeah. And the exact same thing is mirrored on the other side right here. But that's pretty much it. It's, you know, very good set. The minifigures are definitely worth it. $70 back in the day would have been awesome. You get Superman, as well as your first ever Hawkman, your first ever Cyborg, plus a Green Arrow that's not exclusive, plus a big bad for DC. That's the play set of, you know, kids' dreams right there. But obviously this thing's like almost doubled in price in the aftermarket. So if you do want it, you're definitely paying more, well over $100. But honestly, if you want this, it's worth it. If you want Darkseid, Hawkman, Green Arrow, I would just buy the set rather than the minifigures, because the set is worth it to have. It is very cool and well put together. I've had zero problems with it in the time I've had it put together and on my shelf. So yeah, definitely would recommend it if you guys want to look at Bricklink. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.